Okay, this is a installation or reinstallation video for AccuWare's label connector product for QuickBooks. Useful if you've got a situation where you need to reinstall our application on a new computer if your computer dies, or if you've talked to AccuWare about your label requirements and we've kind of made sure that the label connector will handle all of your labeling needs. We often send this link off to folks, but it's great for you to have this just in general for reinstallation or initial install. But please call AccuWare at the number shown here if you have any questions in getting it installed. But if you go to our main website at www.accuware-inc.com, you can go to the label connector product page, okay, and then go ahead and just scroll down that page to the very bottom. And again, we don't highly publicize this because in some cases we really want to kind of help you through and walk you through some of these things, but we've got a support link down here at the bottom which takes you to a support page where we have a number of resources and download links for you to get the product and install it. So here the top one is basically download the QBLC trial. That's our QuickBooks label connector trial. These are also some other useful components, and including the install guide itself on our product. Let's just go ahead and we'll just select that download link now. Okay. And I'm getting the message at the bottom of the page, which unfortunately is off the screen here, but it's just asking me if I want to run this file. I'm going to go ahead and just select run. Okay. So now what's happening in the background, it is downloading and installing, or downloading the initial sort of Windows installer to install the program. So it takes a moment for that to download. So you will see kind of like a moment of hesitation where it seems like nothing's happening. Okay, so it's proceeding with the install. It's installing the QBFC13 component. That's the Intuit.NET SDK that we sort of incorporate into the first step of the install. Now you do need to press finish at that point. When that subcomponent finishes installing, then it then kicks off the second part of the install, which is the label connector itself. Very easy, simple, sort of like default answers work, and it's just that simple. It's installed now. Let's just go ahead and just open up that the product now. Go to label connector. Let's see. Just give me a moment here. Okay, so you can see we've got the product now reinstalled. Some settings you're going to need kind of in a like if you're down in an emergency, is you'll need to install, go ahead and just under general settings, you'll need to configure this path to your label files. So wherever you're storing your bartender files, go ahead and just like most of the time, if I've been involved in the install or a tech here, we have an AccuWare folder where we keep a lot of the bartender files stored. So if you have an old computer where you're moving the install from, that's a good place to look to move files over to the new computer if you're moving the install. There's some other sort of general settings here where, like, if you're mostly printing from invoices, sales orders, purchase orders, you can select that mode to just appear by default. So when you are using the software up here, those settings are already set. And then if you tend to use things like sales orders, for example, as your primary way to print, then there's some individual settings depending on whether you use purchase orders, invoices, and there's even a way in our software to use the item list to print labels without having an order be involved. So hope that's helpful. We're just trying to make sure that this is a good support video so that you can reinstall your software in an emergency very quickly. Thanks.